network along with Jeremy Gardner in early 2014 as a student at the University of Michigan. CCN was formed as a hodgepodge of Bitcoin clubs at Stanford, MIT, and Michigan as a means to properly educate young people about Bitcoin. The network has since spread to every habitable continent with well over 100 chapters, and they played a fundamental role in organizing this conference and founding the Purdue Bitcoin Club.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. As Warren said, I'm a student at the University of Michigan, senior in my undergraduate. And so this presentation is titled Reaching the Tipping Point. And what that is, what a lot of people said is, we all, I think, are, especially in this room, are under the impression or in the agreement that cryptocurrencies are going to bring a lot of good for, us, for, everyone in the world, and a lot of opportunities beyond just, financial means. And the really question is, how do we get to that level where it goes from being kind of in the shadows to in the mainstream, or kind of like how the internet was, hey, I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to use, to today where everyone's it's a fundamental part of your life. And I think, that's what Bitcoin is going to be here in the future. So this is a price of the, or a graph of the price. And so one thing I think a lot of us, who look at the charts all the time is, what makes the price grow. And I think, like the honey badger reference, that it's really hard to tell, especially now at this point. So, we used to think it was merchant adoption. It used to really help when you got a big merchant on board. The price would go up. Now we almost see the opposite. PayPal accepted Bitcoin, the price dropped. So I don't think merchant adoption is what it is. Bit licenses, again, I think people were really scared when Ben Losky had came out and the New York bit license news was there. But really it didn't have that too much of an effect on the price going down, or when positive news came out, back up. So I don't think really bit licenses are there. So we say international grassroots effort led by intelligent, social media savvy young people. I'm not sure if that could be the answer, but perhaps at least help the network. And so this talk isn't about the price and what it is, why it's going to go up, but really, how can we work together around the world, not just students, all ends, to really take this mission, take the Bitcoin revolution to the next level. And so this is a graph of our current chapters, missing a few, just had some new ones join New Zealand and Spain. And so, as Warren said, a bit about how CCN started. This past year, me and a buddy at University of Michigan were just curious, we had a Bitcoin startup, are there any other Bitcoiners at the university? There's 50,000 students, if there's no one else here, maybe we shouldn't keep pursuing this startup, this might say something. So we put up some word out, hosted a meetup. It was really cool to see. About 30 people came out, and we're like, wow, there is a network, there's students, people in the community. And we got, a couple weeks later, we were doing an article for a school newspaper, and they said, oh, you guys working with the Stanford and MIT Bitcoin meetups. We're like, wow, no, we thought we were the only Bitcoin meetup. That's awesome. We'd love to, get in touch with them. Realized they were doing the same things, Bitcoin meetups, educating about adoption, awareness, the uses, working on startups. So we thought it would be, the best case to create this network, to share resources, collaborate on ideas, help new groups form. So we built our website, called Crypto Network, called and just really provided resources to help other clubs start, to host events. And we really try to focus our group as we run our CCN, the blockchain, as decentralized as possible. So we really don't have, to join the CCN, there aren't strict guidelines. We don't have membership dues. We don't have to, sign papers. There's not you have to hold this event at this time. You need to do this. We really wanted to empower the students to do what they find important, with cryptocurrencies, with their school, with their fellow peers, and really give people an opportunity to collaborate, everywhere around the world. So we're coining the term generation blockchain, because I think, that's where we're at, and we'll say generation Y. And so I think it's one of the first times in the world where we really have the opportunity to connect to anyone, anywhere. And I think, that's what we're seeing, that it's cool to see, to me, how CCN has, exploded from 3 clubs in the US to now over 130 around the world. speaks about the power of Bitcoin and how this is something where I would say, Bitcoin is still in beta here in the US, but where it is here, it's the same way it is in Africa, where it is in South America, where it is in Europe, Australia. So it's kind of cool to see that it's just like this technology that's in the same phase all around the world. And so this chart, it talks about, so of the 75 richest individuals in human history, 14 are from the same period of history, and this was at the onset of the Industrial Revolution. And there's a few different people who speak about these times that, when you have big societal revolutions, where new ideas are going to take hold and really, change the way we think about the world, the way we live, you see there's opportunities for people to take advantage. And so, between like these from so we see George Pullman, the oldest from 1931 to 1840, you have 14 of the richest people in the world all get born. And so those you can see who were born after 1840 were too young to really take advantage of this huge movement, industrial revolution. People born before them were too old and were already too in the mindset of the pre-Civil War era. And so those who were lucky, who lived in that time, were in the right opportunities, were able to take advantage of that. And it's a similar thing we see with the PC Kings as well, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. And so it's something that we're going to see the same of right now as more and more money, more and more investment is going into the cryptocurrency space. And the students, people our age, young entrepreneurs, are in the right place to take advantage of it, and make the change. So, and then on that, we really try to encourage involvement on the campuses, student events. This is one of, this weekend we're hosting 3 events around the U.S., a hackathon in Berkeley, here at Purdue, an event at Harvard. So it's really cool that, constantly more and more events are happening, awareness opportunities, educational opportunities. And I think last year, 2 years ago, you'd say think a Bitcoin event at a college campus would be hard to picture, hard to imagine, but now you see it everywhere around the world. People getting together, finding the opportunities, get involved. So, that's it. If anyone has any questions.
So, if you're wanting to put together what would you recommend is like the first few steps for a university that doesn't have Bitcoin group at it, and you're wanting to put one together?
Yeah, definitely. So we're always under the mindset that in any school, any city, there are going to be crypto enthusiasts, people already involved. So it's really about creating a platform to get the people together. So we have a Google Drive and on our website of resources that other groups have created to get started. So constitutions, like club outlines, things for the school, things to like logistics-wise, flyers to put up. So we generally, tell someone to say, take the University of Michigan Constitution, Bitcoin Club Constitution, change the name, right, Purdue, and submit it to your school. And then anything like, any other resource that might have, you need to get started, another group has probably used that to get started. And it's cool to see. It's something that, the Bitcoin community, I would say, in my experience, is very altruistic and really is, a sense to promote, each other's projects, promote the space, because, at the end of the day, if more people are using Bitcoin, the price rises, so everyone wins. So, yeah.
Would your network be applicable to have you looked at moving away from just colleges, but to general Bitcoin and cryptocurrency meetups in cities that are not necessarily associated with one single university?
Yeah, definitely. And it's really how we first started was we had one of my friends in Ann Arbor had moved to San Francisco in 2011. That's where they had started like the first Bitcoin meetups. And we wanted to do like the same in Ann Arbor, but there was not like a community meetup. So we were like, we'll do it a campus meetup. And so we really try to encourage at all of our meetups. And again, like the folks said, we really try to push up the concept of decentralized organization. So some clubs might have their own restrictions, but we really try to encourage all involvement from the community and from students and from other schools, because I think that's really what supports the growth the best. And so, for instance, we've seen that as a good way to start new groups. Like in Boston, we now have about 12 student organizations really them all started from these like MIT, Cambridge community meetups where all schools would go. They see other students, they see the clubs that are working, like this is something maybe I want to do at my campus. And so to answer that, yes, we really try to promote that.
Lisa, the Purdue Bitcoin Club, we only got really interest from math majors and computer science majors. Do you have any advice on how to really expand membership to other fields?
Yeah, definitely. So that's another thing. I always think running a cryptocurrency club and now I think would be like running an internet club in the 90s where like, you have so many things that, you could be working on, you could be pursuing, but it's really, and it's something, cryptocurrency that can apply to all majors, not just math, CS. We have our groups in our club in Little Rock in Arkansas. They're a lot of poli-sci kids. They're working on creating a decentralized voting system for their school elections, so to do voting on the blockchain. And so I would say, like, our experience at Michigan is really cater towards like different groups. So we've had some lawyers come in to do like a law presentation on Bitcoin. We really reached out to law students involved. We had a guy come in from CureCoin. I don't know if anyone's heard of CureCoin. So that's a type of cryptocurrency that instead of mining to solve an arbitrary math equation, it uses the CPU or the GPU power to fold proteins. And so then you're rewarded coins based on the amount of proteins you fold. So we had their group come out and try to reach out to like the pre-med medical students. So I think there's ways to like cryptocurrencies really can apply to everything. I think that's like kind of one of the most powerful things is that this is something that's going to change every part of our society and touch it in some ways. So I think really try to cater to those groups and show that it's much more beyond just computer science, math, economics, something along those.
Is there any other questions?
Well, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we're going to have another 3 to 5 minute break.